滲んだ星を数えて思い出す
夏の日
一人ぼっちの夜
幸せは
There's the Rickmeister.
Bow, 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 bow!
Welcome to the Digibowl on Fox Kids with your host, Terry Bradshaw.
Look at me. I get to host the first Digibowl. The first. Super Bowls, they come and go. But the Digibowl, now that's exciting stuff. But can't do it alone, so luckily I have two authentic Digi-Destins, Izzy and Kari, helping me. First, let's check in with my sideline correspondent, Kari. Maybe she can tell us what in the heck a Digibowl is.
Imagine Seth Green loose on the floor of the Dome in front of more than 70,000 screaming, yelling, chinging fans. So what's it like to be Seth Green tonight?
The spirit is amazing. Cha-ching!
Go Tigers, 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 go Tigers.
Back in my bad girl days. I know what you're thinking. Really? Look, I was younger, I was thinner. It was a long time ago. I used to slip down on a Friday night to the local tavern and sing with this fab jazz R&B piano guy. You know, Billie Holiday and all the classics. So in light of Bad Girls of the Bible, I figured, why not Bad Girls Gone Jazz? Eve had a hunger that cost her a garden.
Welcome to the Bombad Cast.
What is up, Bombad fam? Welcome to another Bombad Thursday, and welcome to Bad Pirates of Skeleton Crew. That's right. Jod had a hunger that caused him at Aten. Whoa, baby, here we are, guys. What's up, everybody? Bomb Badass. That's right. We're here. We're here. How's it going, everyone? You doing all right today? I would say a pretty uneventful episode to talk about tonight. And you know what? Before we get any further, of course, I am your boy, the Canon Junkie. I've been saying that since 2013. It still sticks. It's still cool. Your boy. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Bombad Cast, the little show we do every Thursday. Welcome. I can't do this without my wonderful, lovely co-host, though. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring him in for you guys. And let's get a clip to bring Scotty in. I don't know if he wants to pick his own clip or if I'm going to pick your clip. You lovely person. You hold on one sec. We're going to get Scotty in here. And then you know what? We're going to get this conversation going, guys. Let me see.
Kia ora, welcome to the Tim Show. I'm Tim Witter Morrison. Now, each week I invite a couple of buddies over to have a bit of a kōrero. We have a bit of a sing-song, and I show them some of my postcards from Hollywood. Ooh, and they're looking pretty flash too. I visit the whānau in New Zealand and around the globe, and I even score some A-listers. Now, This week, we've got a Tim Show special. Episode 3, Involvement of the Kiwis. I'm talking Star Wars. We find out how they make us clones. And I catch up with Rena Owen and talk to the producer, Rick McCullum, and talk to the big guy, George Lucas. So, lightsabers on!
Scotty, buddy, whoa. Somebody's got a Dreamcast. Oh, somebody's dreams are coming true. I don't know. We should probably change the rating on this thing if you're going to be. Oh my. Okay.
Dreamcast. You know what's funny? You see how it says Dreamcast on there? And our podcast is called the Bombadcast.
Bombadcast. Yeah. Ooh, coincidence?
What the hell,
I think
dude?
not. Oh, wow.
Crazy.
We live in a simulation, apparently. Oh my God. Oh, it opens. Oh my God, it opens.
How about you go fuck yourself? Not very nice, Mr. Dreamcast.
Wow, Dreamcast.
Wow. Anyway,
not
shout
that
out
kind
to
of show. Not
Nathan,
that kind of show.
I love seeing Nathan in here.
Welcome, Nathan.
Brennan,
yes.
Of course, Brian, Eric Elliott, Eli. We got to give a shout out to Eli. Eli was heavily affected by the LA fires. He lost his childhood home. So we should, if we can find some place to donate some Patreon money to, we gladly will, Eli. If you've got anything set up for your family, or if you want to help other people, we can spare some change. But yes, no, Nathan, I'm right. We should get to the discussion. One thing we got to talk about real quick: Fuzzball. Any fun? Actually, well, you know what? We need to bring.
I was gonna say, Fuzzball, and then like the bigger image on there is our wonderful guest.
Yes. Oh my God,
with us,
Sara Palpatine. Everyone.
Her second time on the show, which is incredible, because that's how you know you're in good with me and Scotty, because like we bring you right back, and Sara is just like one of those personalities that you have to get back on here to talk about this kind of shit.
Everyone needs to clap when she gets on screen. Clap.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Sara, welcome.
Thank you for having me back. Again, I feel graced by the galaxy gods coming back for a second time. So thank you.
Yes.
Dreamcast, the best console to ever play Sonic. I just saw Sonic 3 with my kids this last weekend, and like, yeah, me and my sister, like, hours of our lives just disappeared into that Sonic game.
Yes, Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2, man. Good.
Do you remember the
Sara.
casino level? There was like a casino level.
Yes.
Yeah. Very like pleasing. Yeah, the music was great. Yes. Oh, it was so good.
Sara, welcome back. Glad to have you here talking about a show that we're all excited for. Sara, I gotta ask you this real quick. Hold on. When it comes to this, recap show, we're calling it the Search for Fuzzball. And let's talk about Fuzzball for 2 seconds. Did he show up in this episode, y'all? Any Fuzzball?
No. Like the animal at Trader Joe's, if you spot it, you get a sucker. My kids are always looking for that. I could not spot Fuzzball anywhere.
I did not know that was a thing.
Unfortunately.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Is that really a thing?
Yes, it is.
Are you so for real?
Yeah, at my Trader Joe's, it's Sebastian the bass. If you find the bass, they'll give you stickers, and if the parent says yes, they'll give them a sucker.
I've never heard of this before.
Nice.
Trader Joe's hidden animal? Is this real?
Yeah, it might be different at each one. I think one of them it's an otter, so yeah, some kind of a sea nautical river creature.
This is a genuine development. I'm going to be a little kid when I go to Trader Joe's.
Scotty is convinced that Scotty is so just internet and just like Bombadcast pilled that he thinks that Sarah's just doing a bit or something.
No. I mean, if I was, I would never stop doing it. So you'd never really know.
Oh
like
my
Paul
God,
Rudd
this
on
is it.
Conan. Yep.
Yes.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You're very correct. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Is it a different animal at every store?
I think so.
Yeah. We went to
I guess that
one
makes
not
sense.
too long ago. It was an otter.
Wow. Well, this is news to me. I'm about to go. I'm about to
Well,
leave
I'm gonna have
this
to.
live
We're gonna go
stream.
to Trader Joe's and fight some kids for
just like
for
Fuzzball and
$6
Captain EO, which like did you guys ever as a native Southern Californian, I saw Captain EO a lot growing up at Disneyland, and so like Fuzzball, the whole shebang. Yeah, right. He's from Captain EO, right?
Yes, I gotta say,
Okay.
We did a whole Captain EO episode actually.
Yes,
I gotta go back and watch that. I have got to go back and watch that.
We watched the of course the featured 17-minute long experience that it was Captain EO, and we watched the Disney Channel premiere of the ride from the 80s. And no, I wish I could say, I wish I can use jealousy as a word to describe how I feel, but I don't know what I never got a chance to ride it. Well, it'll be the sin I die from, because this is genuinely something I've always wanted to experience. And you know what the worst part is? In 2009, when he passed away, they put it back and in Epcot, and it was there for like God, I think it was there for like 6 years. And within those 6 years, I could have went and saw it, because I went with my school's band, and I never did. And I didn't know what it was. If anyone had explained to me how great and intensely 80s it would have been, I would have gone. And that's actually devastating. Wow. Thank you for Sarah. Thank you.
And then we got Flubber. They changed Captain EO. They were like, bring in Flubber. And, you know, my whole adolescent years, it was Flubber until they brought it back. I think they brought it back in California too when he passed.
Yep, look, here's my Fuzzball. I don't know if you had this toy. There it is.
Oh, yes.
No, but the ride, it scared me.
Flubber and Michael Jackson, I guess. Yeah.
The ride was scary. Well, the spider lady, there was like she like came creeping and crawling, like, and the seats vibrated. So it was like,
it was like she's behind you.
a bit like, it was like a diet Star Tours in terms of like the movement, like kind of 40x, you know, slight vibrations and movements to the seats. Yeah. And lighting, everything. Yeah, it was a sensational show.
That's amazing. Man, you know what? You know what else is a sensational show? You know what else is a sensational show? Skeleton Crew.
The Bear. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but this episode, this was like a 40 experience.
Baking Clan?
It was. No, it was.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I started this episode and I was part of the crew. I'll admit it. I was part of the crew, and they were like, we're gonna know more about Jod as a character. And in my brain, I'm like, oh, flashbacks. Oh, what are we gonna get? You know, who are we gonna see? What's going on? Qui-Gon. I mean, he says the Qui-Gon, like, what are we gonna get? And no, we saw this man go full heel asshole. Just, it was amazing. It was, Jude Law is incredible, and we were told he was going to bring a great gravitas to the role, and then we see this episode, and I have never hated someone more. Never.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, genuinely. I don't know about y'all, but going into it, I did not expect to leave it with such a bad taste in my mouth. Not like for the creation of the show, just of like how mean someone could be to kids. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was terrifying. It was very it got very real, as the kids say. They say that, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it got very real there for a second. They got Jod was locked in. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Sarah. Thank you. So, but like, just like that, the when he's like, get on the floor, just that get on the floor, keep your heads down was just very. That was a little. It was like just like it's a little like intense, like more so than I think anything we've had in a Star Wars.
It made me tear up. I was like, oh God, like he like
I was
the way
like,
he shouted it.
Fist. Oh man, God help you! You yell at my child or something, or any of my 4 Skeleton Crew children.
So, Sarah, do you watch this with your kids? Do you watch this show with your kids?
We did the first 2 episodes, and then going back and forth between their dads and stuff. I binged most of it today, and then my youngest Levi came in towards the last couple episodes, and as they say, he was locked in. So I was like, we're gonna have to do a little slower watch through this, a little more comprehensive, bring it all in. But we do think something's up with Jude Law, and he's holding it close to the chest, very, very close to the chest. I'm getting Reva vibes.
Okay, some trauma there. Man, imagine like spreading like the victims of Anakin Skywalker into like multiple shows and
No,
having it. That'd be amazing.
literally though, it's a huge possibility. And he spoke like he was jealous of the security and atmosphere that these kids grew up in. It was like how dare you have parents that love you and want to communicate to you? How dare you grow up in this sheltered, safe experience? He kind of he sounded like Logan Roy from Succession a little bit, like you know, screw you kids, you don't deserve all this stuff, where it's like, well, they're kids and kids kind of deserve anything good. So clearly he's been through something.
100%. Jerry, what did you think of it watching with Eleanor? Because I know that must have been intense.
It's I was a little trepidatious, but I was like, you know what, I feel like, so we just watched she just showed me that show I was telling you guys about. That I forget the name of it, some kind of like Chronicles of Narnia ass shit, anyway so it's a little intense, so I was like, well, I think she could probably handle this. And so we watched it today and she's locked in, and I have to tell you, and that the part where they get the parents' message, that made me emotional. Like, I mean, as a parent, but also, I mean, that just, I feel like has to get anyone, if you are a person who has been born before, you that should like make you feel something, just the way and I've never heard anyone talk like that in Star Wars either, like even like a parent, you know what I mean? It was so real, real world, which, I mean, their planet is the most real world planet that we've seen, the closest thing to our galaxy, right? But just like the way that they were talking about get back to good old Atten, and just like the way they were like saying you're not in trouble, that's just they knocked that sequence out of the park. Like the parents were, oh man, everyone. And so I was already like a mess of tears. Like, luckily when I watched it by myself and stuff, I had a little bit of a primer before I had the kid next to me and stuff like that, you know?
Mine was the way Farah's voice trembled when she was like talking about Fern. I was like,
when I forget Neil's mother's name, but when she talked about, when she starts breaking, like tearing up when she's talking about the little brother not wanting the dietary, that really got me.
He just wants his brother home. He just wants his brother home.
Oh man, that got me.
And we don't know how long they've been gone. I just realized that we don't have a set time.
That was shocking. That was kind of shocking, because it was sort of like, bringing up the tooth thing, and just, you know, they did a really good job at like showing Wim's dad, like before they showed all the parents being kind of in on it, you know. You knew he was gonna do something, like the gears were turning, but that was episodes ago, and they did a really good job at kind of putting that on the shelf to where like you almost forgot about it. But I think if you're a parent, the back of your mind, you're kind of like, okay, well, where's dad at? Where is like, you know, Fern's mom and all this stuff? And of course, them all coming together, it just I don't know, it was really spectacular. And just I don't know. I was glad that they waited till this moment to bring it back. The message got through. It was like going through the hells of Exegol to get to the other side. And it was like I jumped in the air. I hopped a little bit. I was like,
me too.
I was like,
the whole thing felt so surreal, because I mean, I knew they were going to end up back there in some capacity, but like I didn't know exactly how and what were the conditions of them getting back to the planet. And of course, you've got the idea that they are on a AT-ATN vehicle, so they can get back to AT-ATN, which blew my mind. Like that was one of the few revelations. I was like, oh my God. Whenever it's like, this isn't a pirate ship, this is an AT-ATN ship. That shit, I was like, what? I'm like, that makes so much sense. Like the idea of them being able to get back in the atmosphere because it's going to let them. You know what I mean? God, man, this show has done so many amazing things with setting up and paying off, like everything from KB's little voice box that she uses to like, you know, John not igniting the saber until he's right in front of him when he cuts off, you know, 33's head. Like it's just They've set up so much, and of course, I mean the claw. I mean the claw is another setup. Like that has been set up the entire show. Them being on it, them messing around with it, and then of course it's the thing that grabs Brutus. Like it's I can't believe it. Like it. Yeah. Every little thing has been set up and paid off. It's actually incredible. But yeah, I guess we can kind of go right into it. The opening. Okay, I've heard people say it was played for comedy bits. Or I said I think it's played for action bits. I don't know. The whole opening of them getting shot and falling down.
I guess if you're someone who likes to watch people get stunned, I'm sure. It's hilarious. I mean, come on, like.
So what did y'all think? I thought there was a little bit of humor. I thought
it was a
very scary.
I thought it was a very like. I mean, these are, and maybe it's the parent in me. I don't always want to like say that, because like I think that like people who aren't parents have absolute value in like the story and stuff like that with these moments, like we all can find something in this. But just like, I mean, it's a very like, for one thing, a very Amblin, but that was E.T. putting together the communicator in the forest. Is what it felt like at first. It felt like, that like very good Amblin vibes. But then it was just, there's a lot of like a sense of urgency, right? And just like, oh great, they're found out and someone's got to get it out of there. It's like I was cheering by the end when they got it out, I mean, that's what it was to me. But I mean, sure, I mean, I can laugh at it too, I guess.
So. Sarah, what about you? Do you think it was played for humor, or played for
No, I really felt like they were doing I don't know if like as a former cheerleader, athlete, whatever, it was just like the passing of like the baton. It was like as soon as the one parent got hit first, I think it was Fern's mom was like, she'll be fine. And like they all like all the parents, it's like they know the score. They know the score. Hey, we have one goal here. This message is getting out, and if any of us get taken down, you keep going, and you keep going until it gets out. And like, I think I just got little goosebumps. It was one of those like dad moments by the TV where I was just kind of like standing right in front of it, and I was like, okay, all right. And then it was like, and for it to be Fern's mom, I really thought it was going to be the dad, at the end, but it was great to show that she was kind of a stickler in this world. But it was like, no, she's willing to break the big bad rule to bring their kids back, not just her kid. I don't like when parents, I can understand it, but I don't like in movies where parents operate out of a selfishness towards just their own kids. It's like, well, there's an unspoken contract, parent or not, that like we all protect kids, and it's like, that's your kids, other kids, not your kids. Like it's everything. It's, if you're a normal adult and you see a kid in distress, you're going to help out. And just seeing them willing to sacrifice, just do whatever they needed to do to get to the end of that path. Like,
I agree.
I can't believe that was, people thought that was like for a funny bit.
This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Memo.
I will text you later.
These are the same people. These are the same people who were snickering during Nosferatu.
Oh my god, I had a lot of that in my movie. I don't know, that made me so mad.
Not mine. Not mine.
Anyway,
to Nosferatu.
I love
beautiful. Locked in. We're locked in. That's right.
I love when Farah puts a satellite in the air and she does almost like a very 80s, like this is my last message. It was pretty beautiful. I don't know. It felt very
last hope,
religious almost.
I was afraid that they were gonna. I was afraid they were gonna stun her off the rock, and I was like, just in my head, I was like, oh god, that would be horrible if she got stunned on top of that. That was just
ethereal, very ethereal.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It was beautiful, and then the fact that it cut to the credits, and I've loved the credits, like that little like weird little piano thing. It has, oh, it's nice. It's very different than Mando, very different than Boba, very different than Kenobi. It's all it's like every show has its own little motif that leads into it. And that title card, I think it's so funny. It says skip ad or skip opening. I'm like, it's just like maybe 7 seconds. Maybe.
Just blink if you don't want to see it. I mean, come on.
Yes, it is so funny. It always surprises me. I'm like, who would skip it would be like, oh, I gotta skip that. I don't know.
Oh God, hurry up with it already. Let's go. Yeah, come on. I got time is money. Let's go. Yeah.
Man, the whole thing of them, you know, playing slap ball in the corridors. They could finally be kids without Jod being around, and SM33 is just there, and it's I mean, he's not there actually at that point. It's just them, and they're just slapping the ball through the corridors, and man, that felt very A New Hope to me. I don't know. That felt almost like the training ball sequence, just like there's something very cool happening here that doesn't seem like we could experience it in our real life, and yeah, that was awesome. And you know, I kind of feel for Wim big time with the not wanting the adventure to end. And I know he misses his family or his dad, but like we've all been on those vacations or those experiences where you're like, this is going to come to an end. And that makes me sad. And you kind of have to embrace it. Right. And that's probably the first time he's ever felt those feelings before. You know, I don't know, that's a heavy thing.
He's experiencing that melancholy, that feeling for the first time, that like you said, that happy, sad, and it's the opposite of like Frodo, you know, where Frodo's like, I'm ready for this to be done. I'm ready to just die right now. And Wim's like, oh my God, there's more adventures to be had with the space pirates. Right. And he's like, it's so cute. He's so up there. Oh my God. Just like, I can.
No, I felt very bad for him as well. Just like he has that line of like, I still got to take my assessment. You know, I do all this stuff. He's like, and I mean, anyone can like relate to that. I mean, I was relating to that. Like, man, I gotta look into this job. I gotta do that. I gotta look under that rock for this thing and that, you know. And it's just like, it's like getting back, like you're saying, Scotty, getting back to the grind is just sometimes worse than, again, cheating death.
Yes.
Multiple days.
I love that's what Neil brings up first. He goes, you know, adventures are fun, but I mean, and he says something along the lines of like, I've
almost died a bunch of times. Yeah. Yeah.
So
but that's what an adventure is.
Yeah. I mean, it's true though. I mean, not every adventure has to be that way, but like, I just think it's so well done that these kids went from being, I guess, on opposite ends of like the friendship spectrum to then being so cohesive that they can have these group discussions and be excited to go back home and face the reality that they're going to have to face. And I love that Fern's so scared of the, you know, that comes up later, but like the idea of being in trouble is just great because, you know, as a kid, that's what you're worried about. You know, you're not worried about everything else that followed it, you know. We're gonna be in so much trouble. It's just so good. It's just knowing you've, you know, kind of done some rascal things and you're gonna face the repercussions of it is really kind of beautiful. I don't know. I love that.
Yes,
I really love that.
I could relate to that feeling. Because how do we know how old these kids are? Are they like 12, 11?
I'm thinking 6th grade, like 12, 11.
12-ish.
Like,
okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, around in there seems right.
That makes sense. One time I'm probably around that age. I got to leave school because I was sick, and they told me my grandpa was going to pick me up, and I was like waiting and waiting and waiting. I was waiting in the wrong parking lot apparently, and so I just walked home. And like did it just fine because like we do it with my dad, whatever, like it was fine. I made it home just fine. And the whole, you know, hell broke loose because it was like my mom was at work and it was like she was like, your grandpa was waiting for you in the one parking lot, and like I can't believe you walked home. And it was like that you know, short period of time where they were like, what the hell is she doing? Where is she at? You know, imagine that on a galactic level times 1,000. And again, we don't know how long these kids have been gone. But I remember that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. And I remember like my grandma was like, she just thought she did what she had to do. It's okay. She's safe. She's home. Like nobody needs to be mad at her. And like my grandma was a tough woman. And once I heard her say that, the relief, it felt just like when Fern saw the hologram, it was like, okay, I'm not in trouble. It's okay. She just wants me to get back home.
What an amazing woman. That's awesome.
I love that you brought this up because I've never thought of that story in my own life. And I don't know if Jerry has one too, but it made me think of my own one.
Probably.
When I was a kid, when I was a kid, we lived really close to Guitar Center. So when I was like 13 or 14, I play guitar now. Me and my best friend Roach, we would literally walk through our neighborhood. We would then cross it's called Airline Highway. It's like one of the busiest highways in Baton Rouge. We'd run across it, and then it's 2 4 lanes of traffic. So we essentially ran across 8 lanes of like 65 miles per hour traffic. Classic. And then we ran into the Burger King, get Burger King, and then we would go to Guitar Center for like 2 hours. And like I'll never forget one time I was in Guitar Center. My mom called me. She's like, "Where are y'all at? Like, what's taking y'all so long, y'all?" Because we used to walk to the bowling alley because it actually was connected to the neighborhood, and all of a sudden she heard over the phone, I'm like, "Oh, we're at the bowling alley," and then she hears Pro Audio line 1, Pro Audio line 1. Because the intercom and guitar
Stairway to Heaven plays in the background.
Dude, she was literally like, "You're not the pizza. You're not at the bowling alley eating pizza." I'm like, "No, ma'am." And then like she's like, "All right, I'll see you when you get home." And the whole walk back, Roach and I are like, we're gonna be in so much trouble, man. This is awesome. But no, it's such a good feeling. Jerry, did you ever do anything stupid like that as a kid?
Too many stupid things, actually. I don't even know if I could like think of the like one thing to bring up and stuff. But like just it's just like you're going out there like I was like the Neil, by the way. Like and we've said that through this entire thing. I was the Neil. I was the very like like funny, but like kind of goody two shoes, like a little like kid and stuff. And I always got dragged into things by my friends because I was of course friends with the Rapscallions.
Yes,
always friends with the Rapscallions. I think there was one thing like one time I got like they were like all my friends were like joking in class, right? And I got in trouble because I laughed at something that they did, right? There was one time, I don't know if you remember, Scotty, you ever played, is doorknob a thing that people do where like someone breaks wind and you call doorknob and that person has to run and touch a doorknob and the other people can beat on that person until they touch it? It's all like this is a very early
that sounds super
very
familiar.
early 2000s game. One time that happened to me in the middle of an English class. And I was in the back of the class and I just got up and started walking and all my friends got up and followed me to the door, beating on me as we went and stuff. And it's just the 2000s were wild, kids.
That's amazing.
Early odds. Yeah.
And like, no matter what, it's so funny how inconsequential that is. And like, I mean, what these kids did in Skeleton Crew, it's a little bit more intense than all the stories we just mentioned. But the idea of like, accidentally going on an adventure is something that I think is just so beautiful. And like, yes, while they're regretting it, yes, while they're, reflecting on it, none of them seem truly upset that they even went on it in the first place. I think there's a little bit of regret in the sense of that we have to end the adventure now, which is okay.
Right.
But yeah, no, I really love the whole idea of that whole moment. I think it was beautiful, that whole discussion. No, I guess there was one jump scare in this. I don't know if y'all felt the same exact way. When that pirate ship came in from hyperspace, the sound of it actually startled me.
It's very loud.
It startled
make
the
you
shit
jump, but
out
it
of
is
me.
very loud.
There's a zoom. It was like thunderous.
When I was watching it with Elle today, I had to turn it down. I was like, it just zooms into the shot.
It scared me.
Yeah,
like actually scared me. I don't know about you, Sarah, but it freaked me out a little bit.
That's what Star Wars I think is good at with like it's scary, but it's either a sound or a brief image of Luke's aunt and uncle burning in the distance, or or Darth Vader at the end of the hallway and the sound of the saber clicking on, and it's like the little things like that just
right.
Getcha.
That Vader scene is like Michael Myers. Michael Myers might be as well be at the end of that hallway. Yep. I mean, that's just like it's that scary.
I was gonna say, speaking of scary, I just watched it just a couple days ago, and you brought up Amblin and E.T., and I know like Stranger Things and stuff bring out that kind of nostalgic essence of the 80s, and this show has that, but like I don't feel like it's specifically 80s-ish. I feel like with like the suburbs and the way the world is that we're in for those first episode or two, it reminded me of It a little bit. And again, I don't know if it's because I just watched it, but like the kids acting like you just I don't know, that innocence, having to deal with apathetic adults, adults that aren't listening, things that are happening but nobody's really taking it in, and just the sort of looming, not that Jude Law's the it of this thing, but like he's just he's not there to protect these kids or guide them anywhere, or it's not the found family deal. And I liked that they kind of messed with that a little bit. Like, this isn't a guy that's like taking in these kids, and I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's very clear that he's on team F these kids, and that's very it.
I wanted to say that too, is like with the pirates, they're only out for the money of it all, and obviously they don't trust Jod. Jod's led them to, some pretty bad scenarios in the past. And, they did raid that one ship at the very beginning and there was nothing there. And I think they all think Jod is a dreamer. But like the whole airlock scene was a little gut wrenching. We hadn't seen that in Star Wars yet. You know what I mean? Just the idea of like someone's fate being determined by a single button, they get launched out and die instantly in the vacuum of space. And when that ship flew in, that was his literal last hope. And the fact that he manipulated the kids, even further from that moment is kind of messed. I know that's where I'm like, man, this is not a good dude. Now, will he have a redemptive story? I guess we'll see. But yeah.
And I mean, let's talk about when they pull the kids in. I mean, like they pull the kids into the bay. And they catch Brutus, right? They have their whimsical like plan and stuff they're gonna do, and then Jod makes it like again. Jod locks in real quick and shoots Brutus in the goddamn head.
That's nuts.
Which was that. And when that happened, I was like, okay, we're going. I don't think we're going for redemption with this guy. I know a lot of people are saying it is the John Silver, the Long John Silver type story where he's probably going to have I think, and we talked about this, I think all our friend of the show, Alden Diaz, was even saying, we're going to have a moment, maybe the most redemption he's probably going to get is like them just letting him go and just saying, just never come back.
Yeah.
Just get out of here
and never come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's as much redemption as he's going to get.
Yeah.
If he gets it personally. And it's not just because he's on my shit list, because he is. He's definitely on there right now. You don't talk to any of the children that way, especially Neil. But just I think that's the most we're going to get for him. I don't know. He did a double down like Kylo Ren, but he is no Ben Solo, sir.
No. He goes by many names though. I found that interesting. The whole Dash, right? Was that the name? The little hot bounty hunter girl that came in. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was very hot. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's something too to be I guess reflective on when it comes to all this. You've got a character that I don't think we've ever actually witnessed this archetype on screen before, because Kylo Ren is brutal. And of course we haven't had that many pirates, but if you want to think about Solo, okay, you've got Han Solo, who wants to be like Jod in the sense of like, I'm a swashbuckling pirate smuggler. I'm badass. I can,
I don't care about nobody.
Nah, exactly. Yeah. But then you've got his mentor Beckett, and even Beckett's not as wicked as Jod is. Beckett still believes in family. Beckett still, Beckett gets his heart broken when everyone dies, and he only turns on Han because he wants to make the money in the end, and I guess
he's even apologizing to him,
yes,
like as he's about to shoot him, right? He's like, I'm sorry, kid, this is just the way it is.
But this is not that.
I'm just wondering, is the Crimson Dawn Syndicate still in this timeline, or is it gone?
I think it's definitely in this timeline.
I think it's still I don't know, because we don't have anything of them post Return of the Jedi
Outlaws?
Yet,
okay.
Outlaws is
Outlaws
before
is between
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's between Empire and Return of the I don't know. It's a good question, Sarah. I'm not sure.
I just love them leaning into the pirate thing. Like it's
Me
so
too.
when they had the kids in the little pirate disguises, Wim definitely looked like Davy Jones. Like he had it was the same silhouette, the big beard, the little lace that they tied to him. Like it was so funny. There was so little rascals when they came out of the ship. I laughed out loud. I was like, like it's okay, all right. And this is where Star Wars just shines when we get just these. It's not nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. It's like when Obi hid Leia in his robe, sneaking out of the. That shit's funny. It's just funny.
Yes.
It's just like talking about like, oh, is it a bit? Is it a gag? Like that's a gag. Like it's flawless. I love it.
It's so pure. It's such a pure show. And like, honestly, I was waiting for the whole idea of like, let's tie in the Mandalorian. Let's tie in the Book of Boba Fett. Let's tie in Ahsoka. I was genuinely this whole show like, are they going to show Zeb, or is Carson Teva going to show up, or are they going to mention the Imperial Remnant? Like, I was really waiting for more, I guess, things to be woven into the story. I'm so glad it hasn't been. It's been super independent of everything. And this thing is so isolated. It's probably the first Star Wars project that is as independent as it is from the rest of the universe in that way. I know Vane's in it, but like that's your
tie-in right there, pretty much.
That's it.
And he's not even. I remember when they were like, Vane's gonna be in Skeleton Crew, and I was like, he's gonna be like the pirate. He's gonna be the main pirate guy.
Yeah, nope.
So then he's like, Vane is just like in there going like, "Hey, Republic credits. What do you know? Hey, are you sure?"
He's got like 12 lines. That's it.
Yeah. Well, he's like not even that. It's like he's just like the guy standing back there. Are you sure, Captain?
Yeah. Was that like the first or second episode?
Yeah, he was
okay.
He was in the second. He was in I think the sixth, and he was in the most recent one whenever John takes off, when the ship takes off without him. But
he's like, Captain blasted off. Where's go? Yeah, it's just like he's just that guy. That's what Vane has become. So yeah.
But I like that. I like that it's been so independent. You're right though, Sarah. It's such its own story. It's so pure. It's so real, and like I love a lot of Star Wars. I do, and I always kind of dog on Andor.
Get out, Buck. Get out. Come on. Come on, Buck. What the hell, Buck? Come on.
No, I love
I'm like,
all
I
Star
can't
Wars.
see the chat. Oh, here we go.
Oh, you can't see it?
Oh, now
Look.
I can. Okay, wow.
Buck, I love you. I love you. I say this with love in my heart. Get the fuck out. No, I was just playing.
John is a saint. That's so funny, putting up with the little bastards. When he let that loose, I was like, oh, buddy, let it out. You do not like kids, do you, John? Brutus, though, Brutus is the funniest name for this whole backstabbing pirate thing, because isn't Brutus the person that stabs Julius Caesar?
Yes,
right. Yeah, Julius is
So it's like, so then it's like, what are we saying? If Brutus is dead and gone, then like, who is Jod in this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Should we not read into it that much? Should we not?
I don't know.
Not even go there.
We're Star Wars fans, Sarah. Of course, we should read into it a ton.
I've made this mistake with plenty of shows before, where it's like, I might be reading too much into it, and I should take it easy. But it's like you said, this has been so beautifully like standalone that it's like I don't know. I love the obvious pirate bits, and the whole backstabbing pirate code. Like, I'm surprised nobody has said, I'd like to invoke the right to parlay. Nobody's done that yet.
It is Pirates of the Caribbean in Star Wars, and I've been loving it. I've loved it for that.
From Jod in the jail cell, reaching out with the Force, whatever the hell, why he has it, we don't know. We'll find out. Maybe he's a kid that got cut off at a young age by Anakin and Palpatine in Order 66, but it was like the whistling at the dog, like to get the keys. And it was great. It was the first thing I told my mom, because like she's like, please don't go into a 30-minute tirade about Star Wars. But I was like, it's like pirates in space. And I was like, he got the key with the Force. Like, the like Jack Sparrow with the dog, like the ride.
Right.
And she tapped in for that, and I was like, I'm gonna leave you alone now. Goodbye. So I didn't info dump too much, but it was just like that moment in Pirates of like, okay, he just reached out, touched faith, grabbed the keys, and those kids, those
kept
damn
it moving.
kids.
And look, you know, they were his way out, and then now they are his way in. So like there's an idea of like without them, he can't get that at. And so he knows the importance of keeping them shut and even, you know, a little bit of manipulation there. And the whole thing of them claiming the ship, you know, the Onyx Cinder was one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Because
I was gonna say that's your moment of parlay, like he was saying here. You're like that's your parlay moment there when when SM33 cold cocks Jod.
God,
that was I yelled in delight. Oh, I screamed in delight. I was like, yes. He goes, close enough.
Yes, close enough. It's cold cocked, man. Yeah, no, I will say this is a great comment from Nathan. It is not just a kid show, it's just great Star Wars. It's just exactly what it should be. It's beautiful. And yeah, I guess, you know, we can finally get into the speech. Once we see the parents' message, which we already kind of covered there for a second, I love it. The first thing they say is that they're from At-Atten, and then you know Chad's like, too late, you know, it is like they've already, we're literally waiting outside the planet. Don't tell anyone. But I love that in the message itself, I love the way it's edited. Like, obviously, when they recorded the hologram, you know, in universe, they edited it like really perfectly in the sense of it showed who, person, big line of dialogue, a big finisher, and then of course it ended. But like the emotional weight of that moment was so good, and how Wim's instant reaction was like oh damn, what's it called? I can't think of it. Give me a second. It's the famous meme. Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy
Jenkins out. He pulled it. Yeah,
Leroy Jenkins. Dude, the fuck out of that.
He's like attack, and he just ran in. He just ran
attack.
in. And
yeah, well, they're like, we got to think of a way to like attack.
No, he said no. Love him.
Yeah,
very fire sign energy. That kid.
He got that boost that he needed. His dad, you know, he got his dad telling him, "Hey, I'm sorry" and stuff, and he's like, "You know what? I'm tired. I want to go fucking home."
Yeah,
and him and his dad, him and his dad needed that. I think he needed to see his dad fight in whatever way fighting is in their world, or whatever fighting is to his dad, to the parents, and that was their parents' resistance. Whatever's going on in that, you know, on that planet, whatever, but like. They resisted, you know, and that was kind of cool to see, you know. And he needed to see that. And I think, like you guys said, that gave him that fiery little moment of like, no, we can't pause, we can't stop, there's no planning. It's just we gotta go. And
we gotta keep it moving. Yeah, that was so dope. And I love that when all that goes down, obviously they don't know Jod gets back on the ship, and they're just looking out once they go through the barrier. And the barrier was pretty scary. I'm going to be honest with you. The barrier was like Exegol. That was a good point you said earlier, Sarah.
Honestly, pretty rad.
I thought it was Operation Cinder Devices when I first saw it. I thought there was the things from Battlefront 2 where like if someone were to go through the barrier, it would just destroy the planet or something. I thought that would be the next moment, but I love that it was, you know, it would just zap the ship and destroy it and explode it. That was awesome. That was very intense. But when they cleared it, what?
The ship? What? You just reminded me of when the ship transformed, of when it went from like when she pushed the button.
Oh man! By the way, that's my daughter's favorite moment of the show so far.
Yeah, really.
She will not say. She brought that up on the car ride home when I told her we can watch the new Skeleton Crew today after picking up from her mom's, and she was like, "Oh, remember when they like." Press the button and the ship like came out of the other. Oh, that was that's so cool. You know, and it's just like that whole chase sequence where they finally just like, again, we get SM33. When SM33 cold cocking them, getting the rest of them off the ship. You don't think Jod makes it back on, and they're just like, take us home. That is just such a triumphant sequence.
Oh, it is.
It's like that whole thing. And then that chase. that chase is just like maybe one of the it's like up there with the asteroid chase for me.
Yeah.
And that might be like saying a lot and stuff. And then
Sure.
maybe it's just because it really is just so exciting. And so it reminded me a little bit of Solo, even when they're going through when they're doing the Kessel Run as well, you know.
It's good stuff, man. It's such a good show. And you know, that was the next thing we into them looking out at their planet, a planet that they've been struggling to find, a planet that they've never seen from space before, and like all of them having that super big emotional beat, but Firm in particular, who's like, you know, just staring off into it. You can see the glow of the planet in her face. This is where the volume shines, by the way. This is where the volume as a stagecraft device makes the show so much better, because like you're looking at it and this is what they're looking at too. Like visually, like the glow on their face is the same glow that we
say the
were
glow on the
experiencing.
face adds so much.
It adds so much. And like you feel so immersed in it, and the music, and I started to tear up watching that scene because I think it was, I wonder who it was. It might have been Neil, but one of them's like, it's just so big. There's just so much of it, you know? And then they didn't know. I mean,
because it felt so small. It felt so small and incubated to them before.
It's like when you leave, you know, your hometown to go move somewhere else for the very first time. And you're like, whoa, like this is there's such a bigger world out there, you know? And your world is big too. You just don't know it. You know what I mean? You don't know how vast your life can be. But yeah, that was a huge emotional beat with them looking at it. And then there's Jod. There he is, man, out of nowhere. Oh, that gutted me. That was a hard thing to watch. Genuinely hard.
Is anyone thinking that SM33, or is he done? Is it like K2SO?
They can repair him now. They could totally repair him.
I'm hoping it's that way because again, I don't know what I'm going to tell my 7-year-old who, you know, is loving that character and stuff, you know?
No, my son, when we saw the mouse walking around after his head got decapitated, he was like, that was the mouse's home. And then when 33 knocked Jod out, he goes, I think he broke his neck. And I was like, this is rated TV PG, so he definitely did not.
Did not.
Maybe.
Should he have? Did I wish that he did? Yes.
Yeah. Although Tamara Morrison did draw blood in The Mandalorian as Boba Fett. That was Robert Rodriguez with, what was that? The rescue? No, not the rescue. That's the finale. The penultimate episode.
Oh yeah.
When he got taken by the robot. Oh my god. And he just kicked ass. He whacked the plastic off the stormtrooper's face with a stick.
Oh my god.
It was like
one of the greatest.
I don't need Star Wars to be violent. There's enough violent things in the world. It's called Star Wars, so like, you know, there's an inherent violence in it.
Sure.
But like seeing a stylized fighting, it's like when we watch lightsabers. Seeing a good fight outside of the lightsaber essence is really, it's like watching the guys in Challengers play tennis. It's like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know tennis, but whatever they're doing it right. And it's exciting to watch. Like, I don't care about tennis, but I watched that movie and I was like, I could watch these people play tennis. And I could watch anybody in Star Wars fight if they fight good.
That's the thing. This show has had a good bit of action. Obviously, no saber combat until Jod takes that thing out and obviously slices off SM33's head. It's brutal.
Scary.
That is scary.
It's the scariest a saber has been since that Darth Vader hallway scene.
Honestly, yeah. This felt a little bit like Kenobi. Whenever you know, when Vader has Kenobi like his face on the coals and he's like burning Kenobi up. That's that same energy to me. I'm like watching.
I'm like the Vince McMahon app, right? Or meme. I can't. No.
I can't think about it. No.
You're gonna feel the pain you raked me through.
Yep. Look,
man.
But like the whole speech, like Jude Law is obviously like an A-list actor, one of the best in the world, but like I think this was his greatest scene in anything ever. Like this was just, he turned so quickly and went sinister so fast because we're so used to seeing kids, even in shows that are like, you know, just as intense as this one is, we're so used to seeing kids treated so, you know, fairly and wonderfully. And even when they're mocking them, there's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing in there. This did not feel like that at all. This was
they talk to them like the Wet Bandits talk to Kevin McAllister. You know?
Yeah, it feels a little goofy.
Yes, yeah.
But this is like seriously some dark shit. Like this is like I don't know. This is like, I'm not saying school shootery, but there's like a little bit of the, you know, I couldn't imagine holding a weapon to a child's face like he was doing, you know, and like
his
I couldn't
language it was very, like you said, very. I mean, wasn't he saying like I'll slash you up slowly and like
yes.
Well, I guess he's kind of like it. He did have a Pennywise moment where it's like, I'm feeding off your fears. Yeah.
Well, he basically told him he's gonna I'm gonna cut up your parents. I'm gonna make it slow. Is what he basically. And it's like that's like the worst. I kept in that part. I kept looking over. I had Ellie right next to me. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay. We'll keep going."
Okay. And like, and you know they're not gonna really do that. I mean, we may be wrong, but like, I'm watching that scene play out.
I don't think
and
so.
I'm so drawn in just with that moment alone. And then when he starts screaming at each individual child, you know, he called, he goes, all you do is jabber, 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 talking to Neil. Oh my God. And then he goes to Fern. Oh no, he goes to Wim. And he's like, you're the most, he's like, don't talk to him that way. He goes,
you're the worst of them all.
You're the worst of them all. And I was like, oh my God.
The part with Fern where she is like, and everyone's like, oh, I thought she was going to say something to get him. It turns out to be like, I think women's. Well, no, he said the thing earlier about like all your fake names, you know, you're fake or whatever, you know, you're just a liar. Yeah. And but I just like that face that when she's like she wants to say something and just the mocking tone. He's like, what do you want to say? You know, like it's just that's so hard to watch.
It is insane. This is a next level of acting. I know we talked about before we started recording. This is a next level of acting that we've never seen in Star Wars.
And is this Bryce Dallas Howard's episode?
No, this one was Isaac. Isaac. What's it called?
She did the one before, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. With the big old crab.
The big crab.
The one that reminded me of the one from Moana. Frankly.
Oh yeah, Tamatoa the crab from
Lee Isaac
Moana.
Chung, by the way, Lee Isaac Chung, and he directed Mando season 3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
Okay.
He directed Twisters. So obviously
kudos to you and your child for remembering the name of the crab from Moana, because I can never remember the name. I just call him the shiny crab, played by
Jermaine Clement.
Jermaine Clement. Yeah,
Have you guys ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie?
Oh yes.
Oh, I love the movie.
One of my favorite comedies of all time.
I let my boys watch. They've watched the show here and there, what they can.
Yeah.
what they're allowed to watch.
Right.
And then I told them, I was like, well, the movie is something else. And you know, knowing that Taika Waititi has directed so much that they've seen. And Jermaine Clement, I was like, they were like, well, who's that? I go, he's played a lot of villains. And I was like, Tamatoa from Moana, because they used to sing Shiny. My oldest son knew that word for word.
Right.
But yeah, when you guys played the Tamara Morrison clip at the beginning, I was laughing out loud so hard because I just watched all those New Zealanders and What We Do in the Shadows, you know, talk like this the whole time, and with werewolves, not werewolves. It's like,
oh yeah, that accent is like hard to like place anywhere else. So, yeah.
Oh, it's there's only one accent that's better than Australian, and it's New Zealand. It's a Kiwi accent all day.
So Lee Isaac Chung, real quick, he was the one that directed The Convert, Chapter 19, The Mandalorian, which is the one where they had Dr. Pershing's whole story. And
that was
most importantly, this is the one that does the Mythosaur episode of The Mandalorian, where they, you know, him and Bo-Katan go down and they have the battle with the freaky creature, Jerry. That's that episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
That we still don't really know exactly what I love that.
It's the best
Oh,
thing
I love
ever.
that. The weird like Phil
Spider
Tippett,
dude.
Mad
Nightmare.
God monster.
The
down there.
Cyclops
Yeah.
spider thing.
Yes. But no, the whole intensity
Cyclops
of that
Spider-Man.
speech was so good. And, I love that it immediately goes to them landing on Manhattan, and, and it goes into autopilot, and they're going down. And I thought the whole mint scene, which I saw Nathan made a comment about the mint scene, that was a little wild. I don't think any of them knew that mint was there, which was super interesting, or where it was. They knew what they were doing. I think they know the purpose in some capacity of what they do, but I don't think anyone's ever actually been to the mint. I have no idea. That's where the lore is getting really weird.
Yeah. Well, that's like, do we know if like they have regular ships come in or not? Because it kind of seems like, and again, we'll find out next week, maybe. If it seems like maybe they haven't had a ship, like in who knows, hundreds of years, maybe,
Man, I just thought it was so interesting when they get there.
There's over 1,000 vaults as well. Yeah,
of that same
1,039. But 1,139, I think, is what they said.
I love that number.
I thought he was gonna get like when in Harry Potter, when they end up in Helga Hufflepuff's vaults and they try to get the one cup or whatever, and they just like the treasure starts multiplying.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's a trap. I was like, it's a trap. And me and my son were watching, and we're like waiting for it. We're like, maybe not, but I don't know. I think Jod's gonna get it. I think he's I don't know. He's either giving me like a Dread Pirate Roberts thing where it's like, is he really like actually the biggest, baddest pirate in this universe, and he's just Palpatining it? He's pulling this whole Princess Bride, like, or is he just a stupid pirate that's gonna get his comeuppance at some point? I don't know, but I don't know.
That's interesting. I don't know if I think he's gonna like bite it, but that would be
so
interesting.
One thing I wanted to bring up too is the idea that this vault system is so deeply underground, like the core of the planet, and they show that really weird like thing that they're harvesting from. I have no idea what that was, or maybe as a manufacturing like sphere. I have no idea.
It looked like it was just like maybe like a sphere full of the molten metal or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh yeah,
that was weird. And then they go down even further. And now I will say, for any of the behind the scenes people, this is the best use of the volume ever. Because all they're doing is standing on a platform, and the walls around them are doing that really cool moving thing. And like, even when they finally stop and you get that silhouette of Jod and like the vault opens, I'm like, this is all in camera footage. And that is fucking crazy. Like I couldn't believe it.
It felt like a Walt Disney World ride. Or
yes,
like you're like you're an audience sitting behind Jod or something, and like it makes you feel like you're down there with him, is what it felt like for a moment. So
yeah, and I love how he's talking. He's the emissary. And those kids are just sitting. He found these kids stranded, so he saved them. And man, the second they get to that vault and they go and that platform rolls out and that door starts to turn, and you see, and like literally I had to pause it this morning when I was watching
the light.
It is, the light on his face, like it is so big. Like I couldn't believe the size. When I first watched it, I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't tell what I was looking at. And then I watched it again. I'm like, oh my God, this is insanely big. This makes no sense. I don't know.
It's like Fort Knox times infinity or something.
Yeah.
It's just like absolutely insane. Well, and like it's, I think that Half Moth, Brian's making me laugh here. He's gonna dive into it like Scrooge McDuck and break his neck because it's credits and it's not swimmable. Whenever he like has them spill on his face, I was like, wouldn't that hurt? Like they're like some pretty substantial gold bars. But just like just that whole moment of just I'm wondering when the other shoe's gonna drop with those droids. Like it has to be. We are all on the same page, thinking that the supervisor is Rened, right? The pirate. It's the pirate who went there, right? That's what we're thinking, and he's just a long-lived species, or it wasn't as long ago as we think it was.
You're right.
Yeah, is that the pirate that Jod keeps talking about, like the big bad pirate that like has seen it all and has been okay.
Right.
So is that either going to be him or like you said, is that guy still living? Is he still here? Is he I don't know. I feel like we're not done with that.
No.
That guy.
That lore is gonna drop.
He was hidden too. Like they scrambled that for a reason. Like that the hologram of him
His
in
face.
the last or in the couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I just it does feel like that's gonna be the reveal. He is sitting there running this thing. He gets as much as he wants, and I don't know. Maybe he's got other. I don't. It's really interesting. I don't know how it's gonna end. I truly do not know how next week is going to end.
God, I'm just so excited to get more of the lore stuff. Just like Nathan said, there is a lot of lore drops with like, oh, here's the one thing none of us talked about. They'll find out everything when they graduate. Like, that's the only way they know how the society functions is with. It's kind of like, it's
like The Village.
Yeah, yes, it's this
Looks
idea
like
of
M. Night Shyamalan's The Village.
You've got to cross the threshold before we even give you the full reason why we're all here. And they might not even know what's going on out there, but they know what they're doing. They just don't know if it's they might not know which republic they're serving. And I know people are speculating, is this Old Republic, High Republic, New Republic? Is this the Galactic Republic? Like which version of the Republic is this? And I don't think even the citizens of AT-AT are aware of what they're doing for the greater, I guess, the lesser good or the greater good of the galaxy at large, But I was watching that scene and I was like, this is just so much lore all at once. And the kids finally have their reunion. And, I hate to say it, but the way it cut off was like, oh my God, like he ignites his lightsaber and then it's just over. The big zoom out.
It's just, and he's so close to them as well. It's just like, is there okay? So I don't know. We've got a lot of other things we could talk about as well, but just speculation on next week. How do you think they're going to get out of that situation? I personally don't think he's going to get any of them.
Yeah,
right
there. I don't think
not at all.
He's not Anakin. If he was ever a Jedi, that his training got cut. Like, what's the worst he could do with that lightsaber? Throw it at one of them?
Right. He's just swinging it like a baseball bat, like like Rey at the beginning of do we think like maybe Wim or one of the kids has latent force abilities or something? Maybe
Probably.
Maybe Wim at threat of losing his dad, losing their parents, he just who knows? I'm interested to see because it's so abrupt. It's like, how's the next week? As soon as it starts, it's going to be balls to the effing wall.
It has to be. So I'm going to show one image, and I don't mean to spoil it for anyone, but there was one image that's Empire Magazine put out there, and I don't know why they put it out there.
I would love that, Cooper.
Okay, it's a very strange image that they revealed, and this is the image. I don't know if anyone's seen this or have been talking about this, but this is an image of, it's hard to see, but
this is insane.
We haven't seen
this came out before the show came out, right?
This is, now look, if you can tell, it's Neil, Wim, Wendell, Wim's dad, and KB.
We haven't seen this yet, right? That's
this is all
right?
of them on his dad. That's all of them on speeder bikes. So they're
John's
gonna
get Fern and her mom.
Maybe, I don't know.
And the rest of them are gonna escape.
Oh, hello.
The other thing, let me find the other one. Hold on. And I showed this to Jerry last week on the show, but there is they did that little itty bitty episode about the Daniels, the little YouTube clip about the Daniels being in Skeleton Crew. And there's one shot. Let me see if I can get it pulled up real quick. There's one shot in that trailer that is straight up from the finale. It's just insane. I mean, I don't know why they left it in, because I'm the kind of guy. I guess there's a lot of fans like us who just love connecting the dots. And this one is one of the biggest, most insane. Like, let's just throw this in there. It's a good shot. I mean, it's literally all of them in the supervisor's office. I mean, that's literally that. Like, these characters have never been together before in this whole show, and this is them clearly in AT-AT's supervisor's office. You can see the volume in the background. Like they're gonna get there. They're gonna talk to this man. You know, I just think it's super interesting.
It's going to be Luke Skywalker, our newest iteration of young. It's going to be 33-year-old Luke. And they're going to have a different actor this time.
That's right.
Paired
that was
with
Ellie's
AI technology. I'm just joking.
Ellie's theory on who the supervisor was Anakin Skywalker, and I had to remind her, well, he's a ghost right now. So
yeah, he's a ghost guy.
Hey, yeah, it could happen. It could happen.
Ghost Anakin.
That's so funny.
But
hey,
like, even
that's
look at
sweet of her. I thought Anakin showed up in the finale of season 2 of Mando. It took me a minute to realize, like you said, he's dead. That can't happen.
Dead.
I was like, it's Anakin, and I was like, not even.
Like,
the
oh wait,
same
yeah,
timeline.
yeah. Get my timeline mixed up there.
I would love.
I
would love this so much. I would.
The
love
supervisor could be very like Wizard of Oz-ish or computer-ish.
Yeah,
cool.
no. This show is built into a lot of things, and I guess to wrap up this conversation, y'all, I've been tickled by this show way more than I thought I would be, and I knew it was gonna be a good show. They never put out bad stuff, but like this has been just remarkably good, just in every way.
It's
fantastic.
Almost universally, aside from Buck, and I again, we love Buck. It is being called one of the best live action shows yet by quite a few people, you know, and it's just it's the first one for me that feels like it has all of the old like magic that I love from the movies and stuff, you know, like it has a lot of really awesome creature designs, like 80s style creature designs, which I love. It has it has just that like it's the, I don't know, man, it's like the whimsy but also the action and the real world stakes and stuff like that. It's got a little bit of everything, and I can't believe how lucky we are to have this. So this is the one thing that had you asked us had you asked me like a couple years ago when this got announced or whatever, I'd have been like, yeah, that sounds great. You know, I like Stranger Things in space. Sure, everyone's doing it. Let's go for it. I'm fine. I love Stranger Things. Let's go for it. But just like to have it now be one of these things. And again, this is the thing that has gotten my kiddo most into Star Wars so far. We got she had me get the lightsabers out tonight after we were done watching it and stuff, you know, like and then she was like, will you you need to train me and stuff like thing. And it's just, you know, and she played, you know, I was Jod and she was Sonic because we were crossing our streams.
Beautiful. Love
you
it.
gotta cross the
Sonic.
streams.
It was Sonic saving the families from Jod.
Oh, that's cool. That's dope.
But this is so it's not just, it's got everything for us, but like it's really, I think, pulling in, which all these things should. Yeah. Aside from Andor, which Andor is great and stuff, but it's not pulling in many kids as far as I know. But it's just like it's pulling in that younger generation. It's pulling in the new kids and maybe even a younger generation than they usually pull in, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful. That's special.
It's remarkable. It's nice. And it seems like they have been kind of good at that lately, where like there's been so much discourse and not getting into it with the movies that have come out and this and that and everything and this show and that show. And I feel like between this and the Acolyte, like you just said, this feels like it's pulling in some younger kids. And I was a little scared to dip my toe into it because I felt so hurt and burned by the whole Acolyte thing. Same. Because me and my boys, you know, talk about like an organic like reaction. That was something like when episode 5 happened and we saw the Stranger and Chimere and all that go down. I thought all three of us like levitated. We literally, like, my 100%. Youngest was playing outside the room. He exactly. He heard the lightsaber swishes and he's like, "What's going on?" And we were like yelling at the TV like it was a sports game and like freaking out. And it was just so organic. And then seeing all these people like other women coming into Star Wars because of just the dynamic of what was going on in the Acolyte, and just like people seeing themselves on the screen for the first time and representation. Like, it just feels like we're in, if we stop canceling the stuff, we're in a good era of like
very special.
You're actually bringing with all the content we have with Star Wars, or I mean, not content. I hate that word. Sorry. With all the beautiful Star Wars things that they've given us,
Right.
without any like big droughts, like, you know, if you grew up with the original films and the prequels, like there's always this long space to breathe, and we don't really have that anymore. And navigating through that has been kind of weird, whether you're online or not online. Like, discourse is discourse, and it gets annoying. And it's just been really nice that between the Acolyte and this, it's bringing people in that are genuinely like, I don't need necessarily to know about the Skywalkers or Boba Fett or Darth Vader. Like, I just need to know that like these kids went on an accidental adventure and we're in pirate land. Like, we're in Neverland. We're just hanging out with like the pirate crew. And like, there's just something very lovely about that.
I agree. Cause this is, you know, once this show is done, when it airs next Tuesday, we would be at 64 episodes of live action Star Wars TV in 5 years. Insane. Well, but technically 6 by November. So like, you know, you look at it 10 episodes a year, give or take. Like, it's just how lucky are we, you know? And this show has been remarkable, and this podcast has been remarkable. Hanging out with y'all has been remarkable. But no, in all seriousness, to kind of tie all this together, I'm very sad that this ends Tuesday. Genuinely, I'm like,
I can't believe it's come and gone so fast.
Loving it. I agree. It's been so good. You know, there's been no lulls. There's been no weird story beats. It's been super consistent. And this will be one of the few shows that I think like will benefit from it being complete. Like, this is a binge watchable show because of how it's told, you know, and it's not like Stranger Things where it ends on a super high super high cliffhanger, and you have to like, you know, kind of watch the next one immediately. It's been ending very good. And I agree. Nathan said the best. I am both happy and sad, which is true. You know, it's amazing. Hey, Taylor, what's going on? But no, I guess, I don't know. I'm tired. I want to go to bed now. This is, I've been dying to talk about this stuff, and it's been super awesome to be able to reflect on this whole show with you both. And I don't know, we're in a very wonderful spot right now, and I'm as excited as I am for the finale. Like I said, I am not looking forward to these next 5 days when it is there, and that last time it shows up on my screen. And
Whim's melancholy is getting into
real. Yes,
it is. Casey Musgraves has a song, Happy and Sad, at the same time. That's what this is
right now. Right now, we're gonna listen to it. Sarah,
somebody's gonna do that with looking at a picture of Neil, just like crying.
Yes,
like,
with his big watery eyes.
Oh no!
Think of his brother's lost tooth with your Dreamcast.
Oh, you think he doesn't want Scotty. Neil's younger brother doesn't want a shiny new Datary. He wants his brother back.
He doesn't want a Dreamcast. He wants his brother back.
No. He doesn't want a talking Dreamcast that tells him to fuck off. He wants his brother.
Fuck off. Oh, I couldn't do it that good.
Oh,
anyway.
Dreamcast. Dreamcast.
But anyway, no, Sarah, pleasure to have you on this evening.
Thank you for having me back.
Anything you want to say or plug before we wrap this thing up?
I will plug my podcast, Curiosity Killed the Cat. I've been on a bit of a sabbatical, but I should be getting back in the recording booth and getting some episodes out here soon. But I'm very happy to talk Star Wars with you guys anytime.
Perfect.
Awesome. You will definitely be back for sure. Absolutely.
Hold on, I'm gonna actually show her
Andor.
podcast.
Maybe I'll have you guys on when Andor comes out. Because I'm not missing Andor this time. I did not cover Andor on my podcast the last time, and I'm not doing that. I'm not making that mistake again.
Here it is.
Thank you. Very sweet.
Of course, go sub.
Absolutely, yeah. Go subscribe to Sarah's podcast. Absolutely, right now. Come on.
It's awesome, Sarah. So thankful. Oh, I didn't know you did a Totoro. Okay, I'm actually listening to that this week.
Did a couple.
I've been on a big Ghibli kick. No, thank you so much for coming on, Jerry. Do we have anything we need to plug? I think next week we have Adam Frazier on as our guest for the finale,
Adam Frazier,
as we always do.
We always have Adam on to talk finale, and Adam's a very smart, very awesome, very well-rounded individual, and it's become our thing to have him on for our finales. And so, I will plug that I did a very serious podcast with Ken Knapsack. We recorded a couple of days ago, and I think it was dropping this week. We'll have to see. I know there's a lot of awful stuff happening over in that neck of the woods right now, and as far as we know, Ken's safe. A lot of people are safe, but there's a lot of people who are just in harm's way. And so again, remember all those people and help out in any way that you can. With just all the devastation that's going on.
Where is it dropping, Jerry? I don't know which.
I believe that would be dropping on just Ken's regular, Ken Knapsack, the Knapsack Files thing. And so, but we talk about God and religion because it's an interesting because I am an ex-religious person, and we both kind of grew up religious but aren't really that much anymore, and so he's kind of exploring that idea right now. And so again, very serious, but
I can't wait to listen to that.
Check it out. It was great. I might go back on after a little while, but yeah, go check out that when it drops. I'm not sure when, but it should be soon. But no, that was I don't know if I'd say a blast. It was a very awesome conversation that we had.
Yeah. Well, good stuff, man. I have nothing that I need to plug in particular besides Bombadcast regular scheduled programming. Some weird stuff will be coming up in the near future. Super excited for what we got in store for y'all.
We're about to be in the in-between times, and y'all know we get weird in the in-between times. So.
This is a real one. I'm gonna give y'all a hint as to something we're watching. It's called Cat Wars. And I don't know if anyone knows what Cat Wars is.
I don't even know have we talked about this? I don't think I might be.
Are you guys going to be watching the coolest cat movies and then like making brackets? Is that your Cat Wars?
Even better. I don't know.
So we do Mystery Science Theater style with like classroom videos from the 90s, basically.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
And this one's going to rock everyone's socks.
I am seeing just little glimpses of it down here. What the hell is
Cat Wars?
Is it a Darth Vader cat?
It is Hello Kitty. They did a parody of Star Wars, and it is.
I'm showing this to Ella.
Look at this.
You will love this.
Oh
dope. My God!
So we're going to be talking about that.
Awesome.
We're going to come back to that. The second Skeleton Crew's over, and you've got the Obi-Wan Luke character. You've got Leia, Hello Kitty.
That is the Skeleton Crew. That's so
this
funny.
Is
it almost
the
look like
right there. They're flying around in a cat row. They're flying around
Neil.
They're all there. They're flying around in a Voltron robot right there. I love that.
We plan on doing some pretty obviously obscure media coverage, which we're best at doing. We'll have some VHSs we've been wanting to watch. They fight with lightsabers. So just look forward to it. It's going to be super fun. Everyone seems to agree that the best Bombad is in between.
If you're one of our diehards, you love the in-between times because we get real, like I said, that real odd stuff happens in between and there. So
there's a few
VHSs. We definitely have to shout out her name is skipping my mind. Our cutie with the little platinum hair with the little the glasses.
KB.
KB. Whoever did her wig, her beautiful, because I don't think they're having a little girl dye her hair platinum with like the purple in it. There was one episode where she was laying down, and I don't know if it's because I've been watching a lot of like drag queen content lately or what, but like her, like you guys, you can't even there's nothing. It's flawless. Her like if that's a wig, if they did not dye her hair, and it's like they did like. I'm just saying, like, whatever, I don't know, the thickness of her hair, and like it was laid beautifully. Just shout out to whoever did KB's wig because it was like flawless.
You killed it.
It didn't even look like
shout
it
out
there.
to KB's wig. Yeah, you locked in, as the kids say. Absolutely.
Speaking
locked into that wig.
Lock in chat.
Will you wear wigs?
Ellie's favorite character, by the way, KB. So
of course. That makes sense, man. That's good. So how about you go make yourself, take a bath tonight, enjoy your bath like this wonderful Mune is. But
blanking, Sarah, baking clan.
Yes, I like that. Can you give us a good stay Bombad, Sarah, to wrap up this show?
Okay. Stay Bombad, stay Fuzzball, Stay in space. Be a pirate. Don't pull a lightsaber out on a kid.
Yeah.
Till next week, y'all.
So hoping Pedro shows his face in the Mandalorian movie.
Yes.
This is what the money is for. It's what the money is for. We need to see his face one time in the Mandalorian.
We'll finally get it. We'll finally get it. Absolutely.
Get it.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Love you, Sarah.
Hey, Mom,
Thank you guys.
Stay Fuzzball.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it? Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world where nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. And that's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for long.